What's going on, guys? This is Maury from the Erie Better Beer Bureau. Today I have a pretty special beer from Hoppin out of the Akron, Ohio area. This is their barrel-aged Outta Kilter. It's a Scotch-style red ale, and I've never had the regular Outta Kilter before. I'm not crazy about Scotch ales, and Hoppin' Frog tends to charge quite a bit for their beers. They only come in bombers. But when they do a barrel-aged beer, I tend to go ahead and spring for it with the money. And they decided to barrel-age their Scotch ale. And I'm looking forward to trying this one. There you have it. Pour is definitely a kind of murky, muddy brown with some red coming through when you hold it up to the light. Little less than a finger of kind of a khaki colored head. Um, Definitely very, very murky. Let's get the aroma on the Outta Kilter barrel aged. Wow. Big hints of like whiskey and caramel and almost like ripe dark fruits. Definitely a little bit of like a campfire coals, toffee. Smells really, really good. I'm definitely getting that vanilla character from the barrels as well. It smells great nose on this one, no question. Okay guys, cheers for the taste on the barrel aged Outta Kilter by Hoppin Frog. Very nice. Kind of a little bit more like smooth than I thought it was going to be. From the smell, I was like, whoa, this thing is in your face. But actually, it's pretty smooth. I'm getting, the barrel characteristics in there for sure. But it's nice and malty. There's a nice, like, toffee-like sweetness in there. Let's go back for a second sip. Yeah, I can't believe how smooth it is. And now I'm believing 100% that this is just 8.2%, just like the original one is. This is probably, I can't taste any alcohol in this at all. I've drank quite a few barrel-aged beers, a ton of them as of recently, and this one is probably the smoothest and least like whiskey forward. It almost reminds me of the Weyerbacher barrel-aged beers. If you've had a lot of them like Heresy and the whiskey barrel-aged, definitely are kind of like a tamer, real nice flavor. I'm not knocking those beers. They have a really nice flavor to them, but this beer reminds me a lot of those. Yeah, nice. That toffee malt character at the center of everything is really the dominant flavor there, and the whiskey just adds a nice touch, kicking this beer up a notch, I'm guessing, from the original. But comparing this to another barrel-aged, wee-heavy Scotch ale that I'm very familiar with, and some of you are probably familiar with, Backwoods Bastard from Founders, this is dialed down several notches from that beer. That's not to say it's not a good beer, because I'm enjoying it, and I'm trying to warm it up a little bit here to see how it changes, because this is pretty cold still. But the Backwoods Bastard is definitely way more whiskey forward and bourbon forward, and you get that alcohol, way more of a sipper. Like, I feel like I could down this beer pretty quickly. I'm not going to, but I feel like I definitely could. I can't taste any alcohol. The whiskey's there. I can taste it, but it's a smooth, smooth whiskey flavor. Let's get the mouth feel on this baby. I'm going to have to go medium bodied on this one. It's not quite full bodied. I could use just a little bit more body out of it actually, but it definitely, it's a little bit past medium bodied, headed on its way to full. The barrel character is there, and I'm loving it. It works well with this beer. I mean, any malty beer really, I think bourbon barrels work really well with. So for my final thoughts and the verdict on the barrel aged Outta Kilter from Hoppin Frog, I'm going to give this baby a 4, and it's a solid 4. I toyed with the idea of going 4.25, but I'm not going to. I'm going to stick with a 4, and it's a solid 4, and I would probably buy this again. It's kind of you know, expensive price tag at $13.99 for a bomber. So, I mean, I would do one bottle next fall, but I don't think I love it enough to run out and buy like 6 bottles of this beer. I just don't. I mean, it's a really good beer, and I'll probably grab another bottle if they decide to do this again in the future. But yeah, it's getting a 4 from me. All right, guys, grab a beer, sip on it, leave me a comment. Cheers.